Sir, today we sit in Mysore and talk about your new book, Indian Method in Acting. After the success of Indian Method in Acting, you are writing another book that is about acting and beyond. You're calling it Acting and Beyond. Can you please explain? I mean, this is a very intriguing title. What is acting and what is beyond? What are you dealing with in this book?
Well, the beyond is society. There is a deep relationship between an actor and the audience. Audience meaning the entire society. And that relationship is not just of somebody who comes and watches a performance. Actually, people come to watch a performance in order to learn from the performance. You see, the audience actually learns expression through performance. Now, what is that expression? It is not an actor who is pretending. Everybody pretends in life because everybody is playing more than one role every day. In fact, as days go by, we are becoming more and more pretentious because we are handling too many roles. A woman or a young man or a politician or a prime minister or a chief minister or a judge, they are handling too many roles in a day. They don't know how to handle it. Meaning they don't know how to look unpretentious when they are actually pretending. You see, a civilized human being is pretending to be a father, pretending to be a mother, pretending to be a leader, pretending to be a pontiff or a priest or a policeman, and it has to become convincing. Acting has made it into a play. It's made it into a game of pretension where the actor very clearly starts pretending, because for an actor that's how it all begins, and then arrives at a performance where it will not look pretended. So this is the basic idea of the book, and of course the resultant thing has to be action. The book very strongly says that action is eventually what saves the actor. The book also says in the beyond that it is the action which can save the society, not just bullshit dialoguing. Today the whole world has become just dialoguing. Keep talking, keep thinking, keep arguing, keep ideologizing, So what this book is trying to say that, look, motivated action is not only for actor. A motivated action is a necessity for every citizen. What did Gandhiji do? Gandhiji never spoke till he practiced it. And what is practice? Action. So the practice in life is action on stage. If an actor does not get a motivated action, the actor is a bad actor. The dialogue that the actor says will be silly dialogue, pretentious dialogue. That's what the book is trying to talk about.
So are you saying action, acting, action, projection and living a character that you envisage?
Yeah, I'm saying all that, but I'm only trying to say that that is not different from the action in life. We seem to separate the two. You can't separate the two. It's the same. It's like a mirror. In the mirror, actor begins by pretension and goes towards the real. And in society, you are supposed to be real, you're supposed to have an internal motivation, you're supposed to be natural in action, but you are actually not, because suddenly you become a policeman. 10:30 you go to the office, you have to behave like a police person. And then 12:30 you come to some other meeting and you have to behave like some other person. and then you come home and you're suddenly the wife or the husband of somebody. So theatre is teaching you how to handle action and what is character. Character on stage and character in life are not different things. It's the same thing. You do good action, you are a good character. You do an action which is a pretended action, you are a villain. It's as simple as that.
It's interesting how you bring up Gandhi's name, and there are a couple of other names that you refer to while you introduce the book to us. You talk about Tolstoy, you talk about Rama, Jesus, Buddha, everybody. Are you saying that they, on their path to become whatever they became, they were acting, and that acting is an imbibed quality?
They were not acting. Right. They were the ones from the society's side, they were the ones who first acted out the goodness in themselves, took the risk. They all became martyrs, most of them, and then told the society that, look, do action, just don't keep talking. Who is a villain? A villain is somebody who does a wrong action using right words. So here a good actor does the same thing. If Gandhiji first does the action and then talk about it, a good actor has to first do the action and then do the dialogue. It's the same.
So it's imperative that we think how acting is part of daily life, though we may not be conscious about it. So when this book, Acting and Beyond, who is this for?
This is, well, in a sense it is for actors, but in a much larger sense it is for everybody. It is for people who do role playing. Actually today role playing is something that we have realized in psychiatry. Role playing is something which we have realized in management. They all talk about role playing. They all talk about how to handle role playing. A good management institution teaches you how to handle the role playing. A good psychiatric doctor does many types of counseling by creating situations. So this divide between acting and real life has already gone, except that in a silly way, in an idiotic way, it is still remaining as a stigma on the actor. An actor is looked down. An actor is untouchable. An actor is always considered immoral. Of course, a lot of actors are as immoral as a lot of pontiffs and priests and all that. But the point is, an actor ought to be somebody who is as responsible as Gandhiji. The acting profession demands that an actor is as authentic as Tolstoy, as Gandhiji. I mean, what was Tolstoy? A count, a relative of the Russian king. He finally disrobes himself, starts living like an ordinary peasant. A great writer, he actually makes his own chappal, he makes his own little garment using some coarse material, because he realized that you can't be a good actor if you are not what you are talking about. So it's a very, today, 100 years after Tolstoy, 100 years after Gandhiji, today if we don't realize it, we are going to be finished. Nobody can save us. Religion cannot save us. Politics cannot save us. Because religion institutionally has become as pretentious as anything. all the great saints, what they said is amazing truth. But what are we doing? We are converting them into cheap symbols. Everything is getting symbolized. Everything, every aspect of life has become symbolic. We have all become brain driven, stuck here and stuck with symbols, stuck with pretentious metaphors, and be done with it.
That was going to be my next question about, are we intellectualizing too much? I mean, I particularly asked this in the context of, it's interesting how you say acting has gone beyond whatever it was meant to be, and that people have become actors, and that in the era of social media, where everybody is pretending to be something else, are we drawing parallels here? I mean, I'm sure you have seen some of the social media where everybody is trying to project something that they are not. While acting at the core is also something like that, is there a way we are connecting acting with whatever is happening is more and more technologically aided, connected world that's making people something else?
Well, you've said what needs to be said. There is no question in it. But I want to illustrate what you said using the child. Can you imagine what we are doing to a child? We are providing a mobile to a child at the age of 1. And then in the school, everything is fed to the child's brain. What about the child's sense? What about the child's feel? What about the child's expression? You give a beautiful Mickey Mouse to it. Yes, it knows what is a Mickey Mouse, what is art. But can it draw a rat? Can it draw a cat? Does it know the feel of a cat or a rat or a donkey, or how to cook or how to eat, how to walk, how to jump? So the whole world, we have made it a brain driven world, and then we are we are wailing that Kannada is gone, Hindi is gone, Tamil is gone. We are wailing that culture is gone, villages are gone, forests are gone. Who has killed the village? Who has killed the child? It's we. It's our brain driven thing. So what I am talking through an actor is so crucial, so important for the society, that either we do this or perish. I don't think there is any other way. I don't think institutional religion can help here, because institutional religion has gone into the rut of symbolic, pretentious rituals like anybody else.
So we were talking about the influx of youngsters into theatre. Youngsters, people across age groups, through your 5-6 decades of theatre, you're saying you're seeing more people coming into theatre than earlier.
I mean, I would say that as many youngsters are coming into acting as they were going to become freedom fighters in the 50s or 40s, or as they were going to become Naxalites in the 70s or something. It's a social phenomenon. Every family in this country, every middle class family has at least one kid dropping out of software engineering, dropping out of medicine, dropping out of something else and becoming an actor. And all of them, we think cynically that they all want to become cinema stars. But maybe they have something very, very important to say. I believe that they have something very important to say. Of course, along with that, they also have to make a living, so they are going into Bombay. There is no theatre. They have to go to Bombay. Now this influx of young people into acting it should be considered as a social phenomena and it should be utilized for the social good, for the good of the society, which we have not done. That is because as a society we still consider acting as inferior, though we are fascinated by it, though we are eulogizing every superstar in the country, but actually we are a split personality. On the one hand we eulogize a superstar, on the other hand we think actors are untouchables, we think acting is immoral, and especially if a woman gets into theatre, she is gone. Everybody will think, अरे यार ये तो सो रही है किसी के साथ. So it's a we have to do something about it. For example, the whole education sector. The whole education sector has become so brain driven, we are making kids a depressed community. Depression amongst young kids is the highest ever today. Why are they getting depressed? Why should they not get depressed? If their entire education is just, going here and mobile. So actually theatre is a solution to all these problems, because theatre in a very informal way, it provokes the child to get out of the trap of the mobile. The child will speak for itself, the child will touch for itself, the child will sense things for itself, and that's the beginning. So, I'm convinced that, in fact, as a theatre person, I am convinced that if theatre has to revive as a movement, the way it was in the 70s, the way it was in the 60s, if it has to revive as a movement, the only way is educational theatre. We should all go and work with children. Again, all theatre people consider working for children as an inferior way of performing, second-rate performance. If you don't get work here, then you go and do children's theatre. No, even if you get work in the adult theatre, get out of the adult theatre. What is adult theatre? It's an imitation of cinema today. I'm sorry. The theatre that is happening in Bombay, the theatre that is happening in Bangalore, in Delhi, it is actually done by actors who are trying to, they are sitting waiting for roles in cinema. They think that here they can learn acting, so they're doing it. So it's an appendage to cinema. Adult theatre has no social role anymore, whereas children's theatre can have, and it can completely revolutionize theatre.
Are we taking a bit of reverse entry into children's theatre? Because having engaged with theatre in the 70s, you mostly did intellectual socialist, may I use the word communist if it's not deemed as dirty as it is now interpreted as. You did intellectual theatre in 70s, 60s and 70s rather. And then now you talk about children's theatre, whereas the trajectory could have been reverse. I'm saying just
look, this is what happened everywhere. In Europe, for example, it happened a little earlier because the crisis happened a little earlier in Europe. By 60s already Europe realized that theatre as a movement will not survive unless you go into children's activity. In England actually, it is theatre in education which actually protected theatre as a movement. We don't understand theatre as a movement. We only look at what happens in Rangashankara, what happens in Kamani, what happens in Prithvi. Theatre movement happens in Sagar, in Dodbalapur, in Gorakhpur, in Lucknow. What is happening in Lucknow and Gorakhpur and Patna and Sambalpur? Nothing. You see, theatre can be a movement only when a Sambalpur child does theatre in Sambalpuri in Orissa or in Gorakhpur in Hindi and expressing their own community things. So I'm convinced. Of course, I did adult theatre all my life, but now I am putting all my eggs into that into this basket. I want to work for it.
So, when you talk about, I mean, I'm placing the book and your words of children's theatre. An actor, I mean, when we talk about children's theatre, we usually think it's the adults doing theatre for children. Like now you're saying you want to work, I mean, you.
Yeah, I mean, those are the technical problems of doing theatre for children. You know, you can't depend, I mean, you can't convert it into a movement by only depending on children doing theatre for children. So you actually also have adults performing for children. But let me get back to what I was saying about the book. In the book, the emphasis is on sense. In the book, I am trying to tell actors that, look, you are sense driven. Don't feel ashamed of being sense driven. Don't pretend to be intellectuals. You're not idiots, but your intelligence happens through sense driven performance. It's the five senses that finally makes you a good actor or a bad actor. How well do you handle these five senses on stage, in performance is one. So my focus is on sense. In children, it is the same problem. Children have to get back to their sense, the sense of the mother, the sense of the father. They are not anymore having the sense of the mother or the father. The mother is working somewhere, the father is working somewhere. The child doesn't even feel the mother. The child often doesn't touch the mother. Forget about touching other things. So sense, you know, this whole society, human society has to get back to its sense. And getting back to sense also means getting back to a good environment. It is the sense-driven world which can take you back to nature, it can take you back to jungle, it can take you back to agriculture. So sense is very crucial and acting is sense-driven.
In acting and beyond, you talk about, you're addressing the actors. Are there any other segments of theatre that you're going to address through the book?
No, it's actually the book is a conversation between a group of actor trainees and the teacher. So every aspect of actor training is being discussed. All that we discussed is the background, but in the foreground they are actually talking about gesture, posture, about blocking, about various things. But there is a very clear basis on which these things are being discussed. The whole book is conversational. And the whole book actually starts as a teaching manual, but then goes much beyond the teaching manual. I don't know whether it will succeed or not succeed, I don't care, but I'm very fascinated by it.
So is this like Stanislavski and Brecht, and is this going to be Prasanna School of Theatre through the book?
No. I mean, Stanislavski's name becomes relevant because Stanislavski also wrote a very important book of his as conversationally. Gandhiji wrote a book of his, the most important book of his, conversationally. Gita, Bhagavad Gita is conversational. So using the conversational way for pedagogic purpose is not new. I have tried it now.
Are we going to see some of your theatre journey, in parts of your theatre journey in this book as anecdotes? Or
No, in fact, I am not using theatre pictures at all. I am using nature pictures. I am using pictures of Warsaw. I am using pictures of birds and sea, and So actually the book tries to enter from this end rather than from this end. I'm placing the book on that side of the mirror, and whatever I'm talking is being mirrored by the theatre image. It's like that. Thank you.